So T1 clearly sees
Aatrox
me as a mega powerful champion and the most pick-ban champion at Worlds so far.
Well, I was going to say, when you ban out the most OP champion in Maokai, you're left to go to the second most OP in Aatrox.
But the thing about this is
too.
we know, well, I still think that Zeus has answers, right?
Yeah.
We know that Jax is something that can happily play into this.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm curious as to what other direction Zeus is willing to go. They don't have to pick that in right now.
Uh-oh.
Of course,
Uh-oh.
Akali is actually another champion you can actually play into the Aatrox as well. And they're going to lock that in. The great thing about this pick is it can be flexed into both
pick.
mid and top.
Major flex.
So
Major
T1
flex.
demonstrating their flexibility in draft.
Okay, so how do you approach this then as Fnatic? Because you just saw what Faker was able to get done yesterday, but you know in the back of your head, Betty, that is a flex option, as Aphelios will be locked in second rotation here, second pick rather, for T1.
Well, I think that right now what you need is more crowd control to limit the flexibility and options of Akali, and I think Poppy is
There's
a great
some
response.
CC, yeah.
Razork, he is
And Azir.
incredibly
Nice job,
comfortable
Fnatic.
on the Poppy. This was one of his most played during playoffs. He is hyper-aggressive on the champion, and Humanoid is saying, you know what, we like our range, we like our scaling, it's a comfort pick for me, so I'm going to lock it in. So I think Fnatic's quite happy with the first three picks.
Yeah, we kind of said either mid laner would be happy to play either side of this matchup, so Humanoid jumps for it. He says, let's go toe-to-toe in the mid lane here. Akali versus Azir. Thresh will round out our first phase of picks before we dive into the next ban.
Now, what I think is super fascinating about this Thresh is Keria. A lot of discussion has existed around his performance during summer, and many have argued that he wasn't the best performing support during the regular season of the LCK. But I think a large part of that is this meta shift. When we saw Keria at his best is when he had agency on the map, when he was roaming around, when he was able to make these plays, and Thresh is the perfect champion for that. Thresh Aphelios, a very powerful duo. Gumayusi and Keria really set up for success.
Hilly pulls his Pike ban, taking all the time they can on that first ban here for Fnatic in the second phase, and it will be a Trundle taken off the table.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what T1 ends up picking on 4. It'll likely be the jungle pick. I would say Lee Sin, but you don't want to play Lee Sin into Poppy, so the Poppy's a pretty good blocker pick there. Then you follow the Trundle, which was banned away by Fnatic right there. So I think so far the draft is going well for Fnatic, but obviously T1 still has comfort champions for themselves.
Kalista also removed. They want to take away some of the early aggression from Fnatic. One thing that did spring to mind was Kennen Nocturne. It's something that you could play the Kennen into the Aatrox. I think that the matchup is not as good as the Akali one can be, but in terms of engage, it would enable you. I think Nocturne also does very well into what's in front of you. It's just a matter of if
Viego.
they want to go in that direction. Instead, they're going to look more towards the Viego Vi. Vi can offer that same principle, that same lockdown. They're kind of just flickering through and showcasing what Oner can play.
I think the Viego
Really?
make the most sense.
No way. That's an ego pull. Okay. I was like, that is the most ego if he does, but he goes for the Viego pick here. And
Lucian Nami.
a snap pickup on the Lucian Nami. So we do get a little bit of that early game focus, early game power in the bot lane for Fnatic, but I really like the distribution of their champions across the game.
So I can tell who's been scrimming who. A bit of a European meta has developed, it seems. But yeah, the Lucian Nami, a very powerful and present bot lane, something that, well, the entire world was playing domestically. At the World Championship, we thought that it would fall off, but it seems that it has returned. And it will be Zeus locking in the Jax. They kept that Akali as a flex pick. He's decided that he wants to have more agency in the top lane. Faker's going to be playing the Akali into the Azir, kind of as we expected. And I think that both sides are pretty happy with what they've gotten themselves.
Yeah, comps are locked in. Jat, which one do you like more?
I mean, I think I like T1 because they are T1 and they're going to play with ego. Based on what we talked about, I think Fnatic got what they wanted and they, quote, won draft.
Okay, in terms of where we should be looking, Vedius, where are the difference makers? Based on this, who are you looking to on each team to pull it out?
I think that this mid matchup is going to be really important. Can Faker unlock himself like he did yesterday and have an impact in the fight, or can Humanoid limit his impact? On top of that, the top matchup, I wouldn't be surprised to see T1 throwing a lot of resources there to try and shut Wunder down, and Fnatic are going to have to find ways to limit that. Alternatively, they might try to attack the bot side of the map themselves. So I think it's a bit of a cross map. Fnatic focusing bot, T1 focusing top. The question is...
Right now, only one of these teams will be the only team at Worlds 2-0.
And it's going to be so interesting. Like, I'm really interested just to see how the mid lane matchup is going to go. Yes, I think it's more about bot and top this game as far as stylistic, in champion picks, but Faker was amazing yesterday on the Akali, and Humanoid has just been smurfing in Worlds Low, it feels like. He is crushing play-ins. He crushed C9 yesterday. He has been on another level, so I want to see if he can really bring that level of pressure here against Faker.
He's going to need to do a lot of pressure in that matchup, and we talked about it before. We've seen this matchup second time today, EDG versus T1. Faker was under a lot of pressure from scouts Azir, Humanoid needs to replicate that pressure.
Well, I'm going to pressure you to link your league account with Prime Gaming to receive free in-game content. Make that one happen. The beginning of the game setting up right now, though. Zeus making sure no aggressive wards towards his top side. Spawns nothing too special going on, as that ward, we'll see if Viego goes for a invade.
Gonna be really interested to see how this top lane does go. You know, we kind of expected we're gonna see more Jaxes and Fioras and whatnot, you know, as we come into the group stage, given that the skill level of these top laners is just going up and up and up as answers to the Aatrox. But so far, Aatrox has still been pretty solid, and I want to see, you know, if Zeus, you know, who is thought as probably the best or second best top laner in the tournament alongside 369, if he can really punish it.
He had a fantastic game yesterday against Flandre in isolation. We'll see if he can replicate that again, but it looks like Razork starting on Raptors. We'll track his pathing for now. T1 warded out the entrance, so they know that he started there. He could go Raptors to red, but it looks like he's going Raptors towards his topside camps, maybe looking for some early action towards the Aatrox Jax lane. And the Lucian Nami pick into the Aphelios Thresh, a bit surprising. The desk was touching on it. Maybe it's an EU meta. Maybe it's something Europe is confident in pulling out. I mean, if Thresh can land the hook onto the Nami, she might have to blow her sums. But if they can play the range and they can keep the auto attacks going through with the sustain, they should be able to get the push in that lane. A little bit of trading across the board. Looks like Razork's on his top camps. And we get the 3-lane view.
Zeus really stunned, level 2. Doesn't jump in for any more than the early damage, but doing what he can to deny the gold income as Wunder can't lane. Gonna have a hard time to get anything good done in team fights as well.
Yeah, and generally in Jax versus Aatrox in these levels, it's not even worth staying in for the extra auto after the stun, because if Aatrox gets that passive auto back, he's gonna win out in that trade. So it is just about getting the counter strike, you know, backing it up. He wants to have push here. So far, so good for Zeus.
Yeah, Gumayusi had to blow the heal there. Upset dashing forwards on top of him, almost in tower range. Good bot wave stacked here by Fnatic, but their junglers on the top side of the map. I wonder if Oner's going to invade the red here. It's a gamble in a sense that did Razork go Raptors red? He doesn't know, but he does know that he started on Raptors. He's going to take the gamble and check the red buff, see if it's up. Could be early pressure. I mean, Fnatic has the bot push, they have the mid push. They can collapse quite quickly if he starts it up. He's going to go to Crux instead. No, he actually pulls the red.
He's hitting it. So now this is information known. I think Razork also knows the information. Stun's going to land, 200 HP onto him. Could die, smites for help. Does he flash the wall? Not just yet. And now out of range of the stun, is not going to be hit for anything more, but he knows now with smite down, there is no steal. Red buff goes over to Oner. Razork has to run back down to his lane, who's also a bit low on health.
But look at Upset. Upset has already had to spend both his sums there. He gets chunked out and pushed back.
Stun, a whole lot more, has to burn his own flash. Can he jump the wall? Goes for the stealth. Wants to Hilly, first blood through to Fnatic. Trade it back now, but Keria will be handing over double buffs to Upset.
EU with the early 3v3 advantage going in their favor. We saw Keria blow both of his summoners to get upsets, but Oner overextending there. Razork playing with a lot of confidence, doesn't hesitate, doesn't burn his flash when he's under pressure from Oner on the red buff, saves it to punish him later on. Humanoid trading really hard onto Faker there, loses a lot of his mana bar, has the potions to tick up, but that's a Lucian with double buffs.
Yeah, absolutely. That is huge. You know, after Upset lost both the summoners, you had to feel that this bot lane was going to start going really in the favor of T1, but Oner just not paying respect to the fact that Razork could still be around. It seemed like his read was Razork would have run all the way out, would be getting out of there, and he thought he could chase him straight through, but the big punish from Fnatic.
Is indeed now early serrated Dirk on this Lucian. No summoners though, so very vulnerable, and now Humanoid's trying to crash this mid wave. Oner is on the way. No flash, of course, for the flash W, but Humanoid might have to burn his. Has no...
He's gonna try to get past it, but yeah, he's too close to the tower at this point, so really no angle for that gank to actually land.
Nothing lands, and I would love to see the replay of how Upset lost his summoner. So this is the replay of the jungle 1v1. Razork doesn't hesitate here and just flash away instantly in panic. He just holds it, procs his passive, gets the phase rush smites. What happened bot though? Does Keria flash flay onto Upset when he dashes forwards? No, he didn't.
Oh, what a read.
Yeah. And they flash flays to cleanse. Upset has to match. Both summoners burn from the supports. Gumayusi from Keria and Upset. Gumayusi has no heal, the overchase, and then the punish from Razork.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Oner just doesn't actually think that he's going to be staying there, but that was a beautiful ward from Razork. He places the ward in the brush as he walks out, and then just waits hugging the wall so that Oner doesn't have early vision of him. And as soon as he steps in, it's flash, tackle into the wall, the follow-up is there. You already know Hilly's going to be down to flash in for that sort of a play. And that was just Oner going way too far, and a beautiful turnaround from Fnatic.
Razork's up towards this top side. Zeus has no TP. It looks like Wunder got a really good trade on him while we were watching that replay, so there's a threat of a dive lingering here. Oner's on his way up to try to cover it. They can look for 100 0 now or a Hex Flash.
But yeah, I think seeing the strat come around, he's like, jungler's here, this is not a play. We don't get this dive off. Zeus still has his flash, still has dodge, presumably.
He's got to leave. He's gonna lose a full wave. Facing here with no TP means you're gonna lose the cannon and everything, so that is rough for Zeus. That is the difficulty in some of these early game matchups. As Jax, you don't really have any sustain, so if you are taking those Qs, that sweet spots that Wunder keeps hitting him with, it's going to be a massive advantage for him. You'll lose the entire wave, you lose the cannon, your wave will bounce, and Wunder will get a plate. That right there is a swing of almost a kill's worth of gold.
Definitely is. So Wunder up to an early lead here in this top lane isolation. Razork hovering around to zone Zeus away, and side lane's going in their favor now. Double buffs have fallen off the Lucian. Upset has the cleanse up if Keria lands the hook, but Hilly has no flash, so Upset might have to play blocker here and try to help his support if Keria does a Hex Flash.
Hex Flash, Lantern, good sidestep the hook by both. They both go upwards. It's not going to land. That could have been a kill, of course, with Summoners down.
Yeah, and both junglers hovering around. Oner's just going to back away, gave information that he was there. Razork didn't show, but he is around on Krugs. Could look to shadow the Fnatic bot lane in the brush if they overstep here. Gumayusi has his heal back up. Keria's flash still not up just yet. Wunder's going to run back to lane with that serrated dirt, going for an Eclipse on Aatrox here. Will be a lot of fighting in this top side at this level 6.
Absolutely, the early serrated dirt going to really help him to try to maintain that advantage that he has built for himself now in this top lane. Razork around, not been spotted just yet, but will be spotted here by the pink ward, Guma.
Oh, he had a problem there.
Oh, yeah.
That might... One of his mouse must have disconnected there for a second because he got Lantern, but he couldn't move. I wonder if his screen froze, his PC froze, his...
Know the current map state in the bot lane, and already we're back
in the game. We're heading back to the casters.
All right.
Thank you very much, and welcome back. And you can see Gumayusi still has his health bar, so crucial, important change there, but Upset lanes the Q.
Nice little Q there. Razork on the bottom side, but as his owner, so looks like they're going to be skirmishing potentially over this scuttle, and it could come down to who has mid lane prio. Looks like the push is pretty even for now.
Good damage though, hits the trade, dodges every skill shot. Now a flay into the bot side. Upset gonna burn his cleanse, but he's ignited right afterwards. Keria doing very well to time that summoner spell against Upsets. Cleanse does remove summoner, so important to always burn that afterwards.
Yeah, we saw the bottom right there, those fighting in top, fighting in bots. Junglers were having a scrap as well. Mid lane, a lot of prio contest here. Faker trying to dash onto Humanoid here, chunk his health bar to contest his wave before he tries to crash it and take a base. You expect Razork? Very deep.
Oh, wow.
A lot of respect there.
He thought he was stunnable. I mean, Hylissang lands the bubble every time and then Upset kills you, so burns it there. Oner gonna get, gets the plant in time, so Razork's gotta get away. Will immune the stun for now, but gets it once the W ends. Has to flash. Hook goes wide.
Oh, I thought he was gonna die there, Razork, but he manages to escape with the Nimbus Cloak from the flash, has the boots as well, a lot of move speed on that Poppy, so in the end, it's basically a trade of flashes there for jungle support.
Yeah, and I think you favor T1 on that side of it here, you know, being able to get that flash down. Keria paying respect. He also knew that Razork's flash was back, so when you are hugging a wall and you see the Poppy, you really do have to respect the fact that he could be flashing and instantly tackling you into the wall there, and you would be going down, so I do think respectful flash from Keria. Couldn't quite connect on the hook as Razork gets out of there, but still, things looking pretty good here for T1. You know, slowing down the game a little bit after that early skirmish went Upset's way and got those kills.
Base is coming through from bot lane. You can see T1's bot lane going up towards this top side. They want to start up the Herald, and you can see pings from Fnatic knowing that they need to match that. Zeus TP towards bot gives them all the information that they need. The only question is, does Wunder take a base here and match Zeus, or does he stay around to make sure it's a 5v4 on Herald?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a hard choice to make because it looks like they're going to just start up Herald potentially. Wunder is moving down towards bot, so he might just try to hoof it all the way down. Because if you actually go Herald and you don't pull Wunder down towards bot side, you're going to lose plates to Zeus, and he's just going to get too much.
Yeah, Zeus is already going to get one plate, you have to imagine, before Wunder arrives. He could have also just ran up river right now and then mismatched Wunder. Is he going to get two is the question. Wunder is on his way down, doesn't have the boots. He's going to try to collapse down. It looks like Fnatic on the minimap have started up that Herald. Pink ward over the wall gives T1 all the information they need, but it looks like T1 have already called the cross map. Oner's on the way down towards bot. Can they dive this Aatrox is the question, and will they commit into it? Zeus trying to chunk him out before the wave crashes. Oner would be the one tanking.
Wunder has ult, Wunder has flash. They're trying to get a little bit of poke down because the lower the health bar, the better, obviously. Q1, Q2, everything is now on cooldown. Gotta get the wave in. He's gonna kind of preempt it, but yeah, Wunder keeps the wave off his tower. Senses Oner's on the way. Maybe he saw him from that brush in the ward brush, but regardless, gets no dive.
That's exactly it. As Zeus was trying to crash the wave, Wunder was hitting Zeus and then holding the wave, so Oner couldn't walk into tower range without tanking it. So good presence in mind there to stop the dive from coming through. Razork now on this top side has the Herald. Needs to be careful though. No flash, a hook could connect, but there's no members of T1 around for follow-up. Gumayusi's just hovering to catch the wave.
Yeah, and Faker moving up to cover as well. You know, you can see him on the map moving up, you know, in case there was a potential dive or they wanted to drop the Herald here. Zeus just going to be heading back to base. Couldn't, in fact, actually get that second plate. Almost did. But it will be a T1 Dragon traded on the other side. This tower now incredibly low, and Faker has returned to mid, so they're just going to have to give it up. It will be first tower here for Fnatic, and Upset going to get a lot of the gold.
Hylissang going to walk in and auto it. He'll actually share a lot of the turret gold this way. He'll get his Mythic sooner, but it will delay Upset's power spike. Now a 2v1 on the bottom side. Stun will come across. Ulti's on, though. Needs to land Q3, and it's going to be just too much. Oner ult to disengage the stun as Humanoid's TP comes in.
So Fnatic defend the tower, they defend the plate, they get top tier 1. This Lucian is off to a massive gold lead. Upset should have the Gale Force in base, and Razork's around mid lane to catch the wave. Keria ran all the way down towards bot with these mobility boots to try to help out to make this play happen. T1 get nothing. Early gold lead now in Fnatic's hands.
Yeah, looking really, really good for Fnatic through these early minutes. You can see Gale Force done and Mandate done for Hilly. So both Mythics completed here early on. Both of them were the people that actually picked up those kills around Oner's kind of over-aggression on that bottom side, and they're going to be spiking like crazy.
And it's on Upset. Upset has all the tools he needs. You just talked about the amount of damage that they have, the champions as well, the amount of plays that they can make and picks that they can look for. Upset, of course, wasn't at Worlds last year. This is his first World Championship. He's had a very strong performance so far, getting out of groups as the first seed, got himself a pentakill on the Kalista. How much can he get done on this Lucian? Humanoid will be the late-game insurance, but it's on Upset to get Fnatic through this mid-game.
A bit of a lull right now, though, as the first Drake and Hill were both claimed. Those power spikes are huge, but there's nothing to fight for unless you're an LPL team, in which case the mid-wave. You know, just slap them down 5-on-5 right away, but this 2.3 thousand gold lead may hold the next 3 minutes to wait for the second Drake of the game.
And we have to see, when and if Zeus can actually get any sort of a serious advantage, in this 1v1 in top lane. You're chunking Wunder down very low. Wunder does have no ulti, so I think he wants to potentially stack up the passive and look for the dive.
Gonna go for the dive, goes in, forced to flash away. Wunder does the exact same. Doesn't have the damage, looks like, for Q auto, so we'll trade that back.
Nice attempt there from Zeus, and it's going to be Wunder that actually has to base here, despite the fact that he does have a Vamp Scepter. He knows he could be an easy redive for Zeus, so Zeus may be able to pick up another plate on that top side. Would be another one going up to the Jax, but in fact, Wunder does have the TP, so we'll be able to cover this, and Mythic is complete.
Good ulti, even better Lantern Keria, already playing around the angle, what it could be. Plate shared, forcing the back step there for Keria. And Oner, killing the ward, feels safe to do so.
They don't have information on Razork. Keria was probably thinking about a flash play there to help Oner gap close because Faker is on the way down. But if Razork's in lane, it just instantly turns straight on T1's head. Fnatic just maintaining this bot push. Upset used the ultimate to try to chunk out Gumayusi. And he still has the Gale Force dash forwards. Wunder is just freezing this top wave. We'll get a bit of a CS advantage up against Zeus. Of course, has completed the Eclipse. Mythic in his advantage. Gumayusi pops the ult. Upset.
Gale Force goes underneath the tower. Fnatic scream bot death.
Upset is just going off in this game, taking down Guma there through the heel, Gale Force forward, and just blows him up.
Oner manages to get the blue. It went on a mission there, got knocked away from Razork. Wanted to slow down the T1 jungler, picks it up, but you hit the nail on the head there. Upset. We talked about what he needs to do to get this team from early to mid-game. This is exactly it. I think this is the initial dash forwards where he gets Guma's ult, and this damage is absurd. Gumayusi even popping the heal just gets melted.
Yep, he gets the E from Nami. The mandate is there. It was E, Gale Force, auto, Q tags him as he's trying to get out.
Wunder.
Oh.
Out.
That's a big kill on the other side of the map because T1 now, it's kind of all eggs in the Zeus basket here. They're going to get some good damage down on this tower. We can see that Hylissang is heading up here, as is Upset, but we'll have to find out if they're actually there in time to finish the tower. I don't think they will be able to defend it.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to fall. That'll be an easy pickup for T1. They find their first tower of the game. They find a pick onto Wunder. I wonder if he just face-checked Oner there and just took a hell of a lot of damage. Looks like they're setting up for some kind of dive. It's Zeus that does the majority, you have to imagine now. A lot of power trading to deny this wave from crashing. Wunder, he just gets chunked out. Then he looks for the ward, I presume, and then Oner just chains him up.
Yeah, Wunder had the sense that it could be coming, but didn't know that it was already there, unfortunately for him. But now, Humanoid on the bottom side here. Guma very low and is going to have to flash.
Last wave for most of the slows. Ulti has to get sidestep, gets his root. Upset's around. Humanoid gets it anyway. Flashes, keeping Upset from getting the gold.
Yeah, and they can look for this bot tier 1. Drake's up in 30 seconds too. That's a 24-second death timer on Gumayusi. But there's no wave for Fnatic to play on. It's all the way in base. No, it's not actually. It's coming from the tower. There is a wave. They should be able to get that tower, and they can look towards the dragon. Gumayusi getting caught there. Humanoid using the all-in, uses the ult. Looks like flashes were traded as well.
Flash in for the play. Wunder still without his own flash. The hook puts him in for a while. Now, will he be able to drain tank this one? Without cooldowns, it seems unlikely. Gets over the wall. Ignite. Sharks the kill. Keria 300 gold richer.
But another kill on the other side of the map. It's really become the tale of two lanes here. It is about Upset and Hilly, versus what T1 can kind of get done on the top side with Zeus. Now, the problem for T1 is that none of these kills are actually going to Zeus. He didn't even get an assist on that one. He is being gifted, additional time to farm, additional time to scale here with that pressure up towards Wunder, but Fnatic are getting so much more on the other side.
He's not yet up CS or levels on any of the other solo lanes in this game. He may be Wunder, but we know he's behind. That's not the problem. The problem is Azir is still going to be a big threat. 1-0, 140 CS, a big Lucian down there as well. Now T1 are going to be able to grab second Herald of the game, but Zeus doesn't have anywhere to go.
No ward.
Gonna put on the dodge zone, gets away from the bubble, but is there a way to live? Finally gets a ward down from his support, but Humanoid has the damage. Looking for a bit more. Razork gets the knock up there. Faker sidesteps, and he's going to find the lantern from inside the shroud.
Upset has flash.
Still chasing. Upset. Can't get in range. Gale Force already down. Cannot find it. Faker gets out.
Yeah, doesn't get in range for the damage. Burns his flash there, a bit wasted, but Fnatic get the kill onto Zeus. Humanoid with his mythic already in the Sork shoes, just melting through the Jax. Will get the top push out. Not in time to contest the Herald, but it's a trade of neutrals. Still an early lead over to Fnatic. It's the carries of Fnatic that are so strong right now. And Wunder, I think, is pretty even up against Zeus, despite, like I said, Azael, only one assist going into his back pocket. So I'll take a look at this one again.
Yeah, we can watch it one more time. The lantern is there to get taken out. Zeus looked back stepping towards it. Maybe didn't realize he didn't actually have a trinket ward available. Then it finally comes back on cooldown. He can actually go for the leap strike out, but Fnatic are already there. They're on the chase here, trying to finish off Faker, who's sidestepping as much of the culling as he can. The Gale Force was used there to finish him off. Couldn't quite get the kill. And it does cost Upset his flash, so maybe there's an opportunity to try to get a shutdown there.
17 minutes into the game, look at Upset's items versus Gumayusi. He has a Serrated Dirk, Rapid Fire Cannon, and a Gale Force. 2.5 items so early on. He will melt through anyone of T1 who lack a lot of frontline. There's no neutral objectives just yet, so T1 don't have to get pulled into a fight, but they do want to use this Herald somewhere.
And that basically means Upset is the entire gold advantage, right? Like, he's the entire rapid fire ahead of his opponent. That is the gold lead right now here for Fnatic. So he's got to make sure that he's positioning well, that he's playing safe. He did use that flash aggressively, so that is potentially a window of opportunity here for T1 to punish. And going to be interesting to see where Zeus goes with the build. When there isn't a Azir that's this strong, sometimes you are discouraged from that Frozen Heart build that a lot of people do love. We can see he has a longsword, so it might be in towards something like Asterix or a Death Dance if he feels he needs to be a little bit more generalist.
Yeah, lots of items for the Jax. Blade of the Rune King, another one, but then you're really over-prioritizing the 1v1, and in teamfights, the Jax can get melted straight through the Poppy W, the Azir wall. There's a lot of things that will stop Zeus and Faker from being able to dash on these carries, but they are very squishy. Wunder fighting Zeus.
Doesn't know he's in a 1v2, but Razork on the way over here as well. Oner able to slink into the brush, and I believe he's not in vision on the way up here. But suddenly a rude surprise, Razork is there. Keria now also behind in the Fog of War. It's actually now a 3v2, but the support is on the way now as well. Hylissang walking down the river.
Yeah, Fnatic have mid push and they're hovering down. Wunder's gonna stay. There's TPs on both solo laners in both mids.
They peel now. Guma quite low, but the minions are in the way to block the culling. He stays alive. Burns a summoner heal. Fnatic not down a summoner.
Probably all in there, looking for the 1v1. Oner is still on this bot side, and Fnatic are just going to hit this mid-tier one. Oner has the Herald. He could drop it bot here to try to trade towers, but it looks like they're chasing onto Wunder on the minimap, and Razork's covering him off. Bot lane of Fnatic so close, T1 can't commit here.
Sit in the brush. They'll see Oner before he sees them from that vantage, and it is no play.
Oh, they gotta get out of there. They're not respecting the roam at all. I mean, now it's gonna be a 4v2 down here.
Razork in behind Zeus. Will there be a fight? What's gonna happen? It's everyone around. 2 versus 4. Fnatic about to get even more for dinner. They're gonna be delivering all of it. Faker shows up, but you have to believe the reinforcement will not be enough. Faker shuts down the gold lead. Upset is down. The TP is huge, but Faker's locked in place. He's gonna drop Humanoid on a killing spree.
Gumayusi has flash. He's gonna have to. No, he Gale Forces out of the bubble. Nice try there by Hilly, but good reaction from Gumayusi. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Fnatic, but a massive shutdown onto Faker. No waves to play on, but Herald, Baron spawning in 5 seconds. Neither team can go towards it.
Now it's the reset instead for the Dragon. This is the 3rd minute of the game. 4,000 gold lead. Fnatic can just shop and be playing for it.
And T1 are going to get the mid lane tower here, so they get a little bit more off the back end of that. The Herald having to be summoned
TP behind,
in base.
Is that Wunder coming in behind T1? What's
too far ahead? There's nothing. The rest of his team is just way too far away.
Yeah.
a little bit over-eager there is Wunder. I mean, if Humanoid was already in mid, and then you can kind of go for the pincer play there, but Wunder going in, hoping I think that his TP wouldn't have been noticed, that he would have had more time for the setup, but gets spotted right away. T1 will get the base, and they're going to try to look for a counter tower. Yeah,
they should be able to pick this mid-tier one up. Can use the Azir passive to put the tower here and look for the dragon that's spawning in 20 seconds too, but there is a Herald still in that top lane. Will push in the top wave. No TPs on Fnatic. They could be at risk of losing a tier 2 if Zeus just TPs up there and tries to look for a cross map when they drop this dragon. Faker might be caught though. Dashes over the wall.
Oh, wants to go in. It goes in for the play. Stealth for now. Gonna be able to wait everything else out. TV coming back in for the Jax now. Does T1 find control? Razork not hit by the R2 out of Faker. Bubble gonna be sidestep, dives in, stunned into the wall, and Razork says thank you for the goal. Davey, you belong there. Is they're gonna get one back though. Wunder gets dropped. Humanoid stuck around, has to burn the flash. A flash in for the stolen body of Oner. Will it happen? Razork pinned against the wall, a 1-for-1. Oner holds the front line. 3v3 on the map right now.
Wow, extended fight, 2-for-2. Upset doesn't look like he's done though. He has the flash, needs to be careful though because Oner has the poppy. Does transform out of it. Dragon started up. Herald has taken the top tier 2. It's going towards the top tier 3 here. Fnatic need to defend their base.
It's going to get a charge. Humanoid has to actually defend that, but it will get the charge off. You can see on the minimap, stop moving. There's the charge. So they actually almost crack that top lane inhibitor tower, and there's no jungler there to answer. So it's going to be a dragon for T1. Even in kills or so, but they get the top tier 2. They almost get the top tier 3. T1 going to be pretty happy about that overall, even though Faker went way too deep on the initial play and kind of gave away a freebie.
Yeah, we're seeing the power of this poppy pick. The second Faker goes in, it's the W, it's the stuns into the wall where Upset can look for the turn with the Gale Force. Very skirmish-heavy game so far. Even fight on that bot side. T1, the victors, you have to imagine, because they got the Dragon and that top tier 2. Fnatic now trying to retake control of mid. Baron still up. Will be quite a quick Baron for Fnatic with this Lucian and Azir.
All the gold, though, in exactly the right places. 2K gold lead for Humanoid individually in his matchup. A 2K, actually over 2K gold lead for Upset in his individual matchup. So that is the lead. It is on the carries. It is exactly where Fnatic would want it to be. It is, in fact, the Blade of the Rune King. You called it out as an option. I was disregarding it because I didn't think this is a game that Zeus can win through side. It does feel like Fnatic are pushing the pace enough that he's going to have to group at points. He's going to have to team fight. And when you do go for that sort of a build, you are so squishy. If you misposition at all, if you get CC'd up at all, you're going down.
Especially against Humanoid's Azir right now. Level 14 has a Shadow Flame and Luden's building towards Rabadon's third. No defensive items on this train, but the amount of damage this Azir will dish out will be enormous. Upset 3 items strong, has the Collector. This mid game for Fnatic is incredibly powerful. T1 needs to be careful in overextending and looking for picks and looking for fights. If Fnatic are grouped up, the carries of Fnatic will melt them.
Looks like correctly playing around the Baron. It is Fog of War in the Baron pit and nearly, basically no vision inside the top jungle. Bringing it down to 8K. Blue Trinket spots what's going on. They got to run in there and find the fight. Zeus,
the knockback.
The side. They get rid of Viego. This is a guaranteed smite. It's got to be his. Baron's claim. The fight begins. Hylissang stays alive for now. They scoop back the Jax. Poppy interrupts him. And Upset sends him to his grave. T1 have 4 and they're against 5 in a Baron. Keria just drops. Gets nothing done. Viego neither. And Fnatic continue. European domination. They're going to get absolutely everyone. Faker just drops again as Fnatic go to a 7-0 start at Worlds.
EU faithful stand tall. This could be a 3-0 day. T1 is falling apart. 5-0 Baron for Fnatic.
Fnatic are crushing in this game, erasing their opponents off the map. The beautiful knockout secures them the Baron, and then T1, it seemed like, felt that they had to go for the fight. They had to erase some of these Baron buffs, but the force was not working at all. They are not ready to team fight. They don't have the gold on these carries, and they got destroyed.
This knockback from Razork was so clutch. The pin cord on the entrance instantly hits Oner to send him out of the fight. The reposition from Fnatic. Watch Humanoid here. Hylissang looks like he's in trouble. Pushes away Zeus from the flank. They reposition behind the wall. Razork peels away Faker, and then from there it's a front to back with Lucian Azir.
Exactly, and you see how quickly that Jax is going down. Oner is not even there. T1 see that the game is falling, and Keria looks for the turn with the flash play, but he's instantaneously dead. Oner tries to go in and get something, but he is blown out of the air as well. It's skeet shooting for Fnatic, knocking down T1 player after T1 player. Fnatic looking unstoppable.
Full of energy. Hylissang, of course, was late to the tournament in Plains. had to go through COVID and jet lag and all these struggles through pains, but now revitalized. Fnatic looking like they could go up 2-0 in this group. Look at Humanoid's items. The amount of damage he will do in this next fight is absurd. What does T1 have left? Their wave clear is so weak.
Nothing. They've got nothing.
Well, they're going to see what they can get. Zeus walking into the mid lane. We know top is at least low, but region's back to 1/3 HP. So top inhibitor, definitely a guaranteed claim. 6,000 gold when you count the ace on the Red Bull Baron power play. Fnatic still have 45 seconds to crush the base. Jax is hitting mid lane, so Fnatic will hit the top Nexus turret, but the wave is down for now. Reinforcements will come in, they get a bit more time. Look at the Poppy ulti. Jax coming in for the TP flank, and they will send back Faker, no Akali, turret falls, 5v4. They can wait 30 seconds, but they might lose their final turret if that happens.
Fnatic looking to close this one out, waiting for the next top wave, poking T1 away. They've just used the Aatrox ult, the Poppy ult, Nami and Lucian. All that's left is Humanoid's wall. Wunder's spacing. It looks like he might TP back. Upset dashes forwards onto Oner. Waves coming in, but Zeus is proxying the wave. Yeah, he's cutting the wave off, so they can't look for the end. Fnatic need to chase this Jax and look to reset. I don't think they can stay here much longer. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds.
And that times out Baron. That means there is no Baron wave to go for the final Nexus turret, which means the wave clear could always be there. Were they going to recall stop? Were they going to recall stop? That was a second away from magically finding a 5v2.
Yeah, I mean, if you find that last member, when the recalls are desynced a little bit like that, it can mean so much. But now, instead, it's a 10k lead for Fnatic. It should be their Dragon for sure. I don't think that T1 have any business trying to contest here. There's no TP on Zeus. He's pushing out top. I think the hope is that you can somehow delay the game until you get that third, fourth item for Gumayusi. I mean, he's going to need IE. He's going to need a lot in the tank here to be able to get anything done, and they're trying to buy time for Zeus as well. But Fnatic will just keep pressing.
They definitely will. Upset also close to that Infinity Edge, but T1 working with very little right now. Zeus is trying his best to push out waves so they can at least have one lane of pressure, but Fnatic just grouping up. Wunder has the TP. He'll catch the mid wave safely. They've denied the soul point from T1. Looking on this bot tier 2, T1's comp just doesn't have that much wave clear either. Very single target damage heavy, and they have to commit with these melee champs to push Fnatic back, but they're so strong that they can just poke them under towers. Such big level leads and gold leads right now. I think they need another Baron to close this one out though, so Fnatic need to slow the game down a little bit, so T1 will have a little bit of room to breathe to get a couple more items.
It's time taken. We get to a lull right here. 1:45 until Baron. This one probably ends the game if Fnatic grab it cleanly. I think T1 know this. Need their wards to be around top side. Need to prep for this one. Zeus still going to be on the sides. Wards of Veil plus a null magic as he steps up towards a bit of two different items.
I mean, this tells the story, right? It's more than a full death cap ahead, more than a full IE ahead between these two carries. The advantage for these Fnatic carries is monstrous. It's just up to Hilly, Razork, and Wunder to keep their carries safe, and Upset and Humanoid can close out this game.
That is a hook, but it's onto the tankiest member of the team. It's going to mean absolutely nothing. The poke, you don't even notice it happen. It's still 3,000 health. Faker on the wings, but can he find a single good target? Flash is back up for every single member of Fnatic. They walk in, they just march for the mid lane inhibitor turret, and they'll be given it. Top still pushing in. Hook means very little. Flash on the back line. Zeus gets nothing done. The cleanse, the tackle, and they knock down the top laner. No threat at all. Upset burns the cleanse, and he's fine. Faker can't find his way in either. They get Nami. The scoop buys time. Perfect timing by Humanoid. And it's T1 lambs to the slaughter. A triple kill for Upset. Welcome the world, buddy Fnatic. Dethrone T1 in the group. Fnatic undefeated at Worlds.
Unbelievable performance coming out against T1, who looked flawless yesterday against EDG. This group is shaking up to be an absolute bloodbath, an absolute mess, but Fnatic are the ones on day 2 sitting at 2-0 right now.
I mean, this is the group that I thought would be the hardest to predict out of any of them. But I didn't think Fnatic would look so dominant if they were to take down T1. I thought they could potentially do it, but to do it like this, I think, is the real surprise. How clean they looked, how dominant they looked over T1 was really something to see. And Humanoid has been near perfect at Worlds. Through play-ins, through groups, yesterday, today. This guy is a man on a mission. It feels like he has barely put a foot wrong in the entire competition.
Think back to the semi-finals, Fnatic getting demolished by Rogue, but then they go to the planes, and as Jad said on the analyst desk, teams can grow throughout planes, and they can improve, and it can help them if they get through in first seed or if they win their best of fives, because it gives them more room to practice. Now coming into group stage, Fnatic looking incredibly strong. Humanoid having a fantastic tournament, Upset having a fantastic tournament as well.
Yeah.
And it's interesting for T1, I think they're going to be thinking back to very early on in that game. The Oner over invade, that felt like it really did put the Fnatic bot lane in such a good position. Prior to that, it was Gumayusi with a slight CS advantage, but they were feeling pretty good about, potentially scaling through, playing that lane to parity. But that one misstep, Fnatic are so good at pouncing on those opportunities. Razork set up the bait perfectly, wards the brush, Oner takes the